Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, now I know it's been a while. It's been quite a while. Um, I've had some family issues going on. My mother had heart surgery, and I myself have went through a thing. I have a bad kidney disease, and I'm just now learning what I can and cannot get away with. And when I eat stuff I can't get away with, well, I pay. So it's been a while, guys. I know I don't really owe you an explanation, but I love you guys, and I just wanted you all to know. So, as you can see, there's Andrew Tate on the screen. Now, this is a Candace Owens and Tate interview. Now, I also want to disclaim right now that this is for educational purposes only. Okay, because I have heard a lot of big people, famous people, talking about therapy as a bad thing. But when they explain the kind of therapy that they are getting, then I kind of have to agree with these people to an extent. But the reason I'm showing this is because they are in a position of power in a way and influence. And I don't think that they should be going and telling people that therapy is bad for you. If you are a drug addict and you're trying to get straight, now this is if you want to get clean. I'm telling you right now, a drug addict, if they do not want to get clean, they are not going to get clean. You cannot force anybody to do anything they do not want to do. You can only offer them love and support and the opportunities to get well. Okay, that's all you can do. They have to do it on their own. But therapy would be good for someone suffering from addiction. He goes on and says behavioral modification is bad for you. It is if you have a psychiatrist trying to push an ideology onto you, like transgenderism. It's a cult religion, I believe. And if your kid goes into therapy and says they are unhappy with their body, then it could snowball into a whole new thing. So that I have heard is happening in the bigger cities. I live in Ohio, Southeast Ohio. It it's not happening around here, but drug addiction is happening around here and it's bad. It's really, really bad. We've had some overdoses in found out in the public in our city and no investigations. So that's why I believe that if you're going to tout that therapy is bad, please don't. Please don't. If the right person is listening to you that may have benefited from therapy, then you may have prevented them from doing that by saying this. So let's put a pin in that and listen to what he says.
Just an unhappy, miserable house. He gave up everything and gained absolutely and utterly nothing. This whole therapy thing, the reason I believe they push therapy so heavily is because it goes into something I said a little bit earlier about selfishness. If you convince somebody that they have to spend hours and hours per week sitting in a chair talking about that feeling they had last Thursday in the kitchen.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Crazy.
You want to talk about creating mental illness.
It's not insane if that feeling every time a person in addiction recovery has that feeling, if they have not tagged where that feeling has come from and why it's there, and it's causing them to think about using, then that's something that should be talked about with your therapist, with a therapist that is trained in addiction recovery. See, here's the thing, folks. You can get a therapist that is trained for different things. And I'm going to tell you some of the red flags to watch for in therapy. I am certified in therapy and I've studied a lot and I know what they're trying to push, the agenda they're trying to push, and they're trying to get psychiatrists to push it. And some of them in some states and cities are not doing it. They're not pushing that agenda. And so our addiction recovery services are behavioral modification. Now, if done right, it would help. Like I said, if forced, no one wants to do it. Okay, now let's go on.
There it is. This exasperates problems. This makes it worse. And it also builds this culture of absolute and utter selfishness. Excuse me, they're trying to put you in jail for the rest of your life effectively because they're going to enslave you and they're going to control.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. It doesn't promote selfishness. What it promotes is you heal yourself, mind, body, and soul before you can take care of someone else. And what he's saying is untrue. He's never been to therapy. What he's saying is you sit there for hours and talk about that one feeling. Now they're going to go on and talk about childhood traumas too and how that's such crap. And it's not. And listen, folks, you don't go into childhood traumas until you have worked through every emotion and feelings. Because if you're still relapsing and it's number 6 time in the rehabs, and it doesn't matter how many times it takes you to get clean, it doesn't, but it's number 6. And finally your therapist is like, hey, maybe it's a childhood trauma you didn't heal, you want to go there? But they don't focus on it. It's therapy should be a feel it, heal it, and let it go. If you are stuck on something more than 24 to 48 hours, you need real help. But the goal is to get it out and gone within the first 2 days. And that's if you're really traumatized. You don't want to carry trauma. You don't. You let it go. You feel it, heal it, let it go. I can feel stuff and heal it and let it go immediately. People think that I'm cold because of that, but I'm not.
Control all the money and they're going to make you get injections you don't need. Yeah, but I'm sad. I got therapy. I'll talk about it later. Yeah. That's all they want. They just want you to be so obsessed with how you feel in your own mind that you can't even look outside of yourself and care about anything. Right. It's part of the propaganda machine. It's part of the mechanism to turn us all into docile farm animals. I said this to somebody the other day. They were talking about how they feel. And I said, who cares how you feel? And he goes, well, what do you mean? Well, I don't care. You're telling me I know you and I don't care. So all the people who don't know you don't care. The woman you want doesn't care. You can't go up to a chick at a bar and say, you know what? Usually I'm really charming. Today I'm a bit sad. Can you give me a pass? Can you let me off? She'll be like, go away, weirdo. The chick you want doesn't care. The job you're supposed to perform at doesn't care. If the man who wants to mug you decides to pull a machete, he doesn't care. You can't say, bro, I'm not in the mood for a fight today. Tomorrow, please. Nobody cares. So why do you care? All the people out here in the world don't care, but you're going to sit there and you're going to carry the only person in the world who cares. You're going to walk around telling everybody, trying to find somebody who gives a shit. Good luck, because what's going to happen is you're going to walk around feeling sorry for yourself, trying to find somebody who cares. You might find somebody who pretends to care long enough for you to get a little bit of dopamine, but all in all, you're wasting time in a hyper-competitive world where people like me who perform regardless of how they feel are just going to perpetually bury you. And then you're going to sit there and wake up and go, why am I a loser? Well, because when Andrew was sad, he continued to perform. When Andrew was in jail, his business didn't fall apart. He was doing push-ups every day. His body didn't fall apart. Nothing about his life degraded when he was in a jail cell surrounded by cockroaches. You're in a plushy bed at home, crying about what? And you expect the male world's hyper competitive. So you're not allowed almost as a man to put that much importance on how you feel. You don't have time to care about it because you have too much to do. This is what I find so remarkable. If I feel sad, I don't think, how do I stop myself? I need to not feel sad. I just go to work. I got stuff to do. I'm a man. I have things to do every single day. This whole therapy garbage, I can't think of a way faster to ruin your mindset and destroy your ability to resist the perils of life than going to therapy.
And the over diagnoses of everything. It's like, you have this, you have that. And then people take that as an excuse to not ever have to get better.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, now I can be permanent because I realize that I've got this. I went to the doctor and the doctor says that I have.
Okay, now, if you have a good therapist, they're going to tell you that you need to learn how to control your feelings. Okay, so that's where meditation comes in and prayer. That's why you have to have a higher power. Okay, meditation, yoga, that's breath work. So if you don't have a higher power, just meditate. Okay. And what you're going to do basically is you're going to start focusing on what is the first feeling that comes to you in any reaction or interaction during the day. If anger becomes your first action or feeling that you go to and grab, then you need to learn how to change those feelings. You need to start practicing happiness, and that's how you do it. If you have a good therapist, they're going to tell you that. They're going to tell you that no, life is not a happy place, and that, yeah, no one cares if you're unhappy. He's right about that. But you should care, and your family cares. Okay. And what he's talking about is a generation that has never been guided. You got some children out here, some young people that have never been guided the right way. And so therefore, without the right guidance, you got kids that young adults that don't know how to be an adult. That's what happened to the generation. That's the programmed generation. Okay. Yeah, they're completely in the matrix, Mr. Tate. You're right about that. But to tell someone not to do therapy, that's wrong. But if your therapist doesn't tell you to get over stuff quick, then something's wrong. If your therapist wants you to stay locked in the feelings and focus on those feelings that are negative, then you're in the wrong place. If they're not encouraging growth and to get away from negative feelings and emotions and teaching you how to be positive, then they're not the ones for you. And you need to speak up and say your truth. And you can lie to the doctors and yourself. You can lie to yourself, but you really can't lie to anybody else. Other people will know the truth. And you don't want to go to therapy to get medications. Medications are not good. You don't want to sit there. If someone wants to sit there and tell you, okay, well, this is what you're diagnosed with after a conversation, and I'm going to give you this pill, say no. Say you want therapy without medication, because if you can work it out yourself, that's the best way. Now, in some situations, when there's been like, and I'm going to be specific, like a car wreck, and you have a severe brain injury, and say you're having negative behaviors, there are some medications out there that help you rewire the neurosensors in your brain. Are they meant to be long term? No. Also, the psychiatrist will tell you, if they tell you you have a mental illness, they do want you to believe that you have something that's lifelong and you can never get over it and get well. Don't believe it. That's the thing. You can heal your mind from every mental illness, even addiction. That's all I have to say about this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was good. I hope you listened. I'm gonna get off here. I don't want to show my face because I look like crap today. Also, I'm gonna say again, this is for learning purposes only. And thank you so much. Be the reason someone believes in good people. Goodbye.